My name is Emil. I'm a digital strategist. I answer marketing questions. This is episode 47. This is about Google Ads landing page experience tips. This question is from Reddit and it's from a user's name that I'm sure is something clever that I just don't get. I'm not a clever guy. Landing page experience. Why does each keyword have different landing page experience score? Shouldn't it be the same? We have one of the keywords and he goes on to say, the keywords that are on the page are super relevant for the users, and they're similar, but you get different landing page experience scores from these. I love this question because it's going to dive into how nuanced Google is, the things that we have to consider as marketers, and why PPC will always need multi-dimensional thinking. So in this video, I'm going to cover Google's rules for landing page experience score, why landing page is my favorite quality score component overall, and then troubleshooting your landing page experience beyond the obvious. But first, every Sunday I send out one email that recaps all the marketing questions I answered that week. If you want to stay up to date on best practices, strategies, and become an overall stronger marketer, I think you would really enjoy this recap. It would mean the world to me if you could subscribe to the newsletter and my YouTube channel. Now, back to the answer. As we all know, our quality scores are made up of three components. Number one, the keyword that you're bidding on. Number two, how engaging is your ad copy and relevance for that ad copy to that user who inputted the search term that triggered your keyword. And number three, your landing page experience. The first two have a lot of conversation about them. The third, we don't hear that much. And I don't understand why, because this is data coming back from Google. Those guys that run the internet and know everything about everyone are giving you a direct under the hood look at how users who type in your keyword, click on your ad, interact with your page. And let's look into their documentation of this chain of events. Landing page experience, how relevant and useful your landing page is to people who click your ad. I want to break that apart into two words here, relevant and usefulness. When most people talk about quality score, and I've had multi-million-dollar ad managers in consults talk about the relevancy component, but they often overlook the usefulness component. Usefulness is ever changing in Google's mind. Usefulness has millions of signals. And so this is where a lot of landing page experiences break down. That's the first part we're going to troubleshoot. Number two, this evaluation is based on a comparison with other advertisers whose ads showed for the exact same keyword over the last 90 days. So you are getting a report. All of the people that Google knows that are bidding on the same exact keyword as you, you're getting a report on how their landing pages are performing over yours. Again, direct competitor analysis from Google. This is the process I go through every time I want to diagnose landing page experience issues. Number one, match types. Have they changed? When Google says they are comparing this to people who are bidding on the exact same keyword, they also mean exact same match type. So if your keyword is phone case, broad match, they're only comparing it to people who have phone case broad match as their keyword, not anybody with phrase match or exact match. That's important. And we see that if you change your phrase match, say Google recommends that your phrase match needs to go to broad match because you can yield more conversions than you do. Now the clock changes again for your quality score of that keyword. That's something important to remember. Number two, do we have 30 days of untouched data? I like to look at this in a 30-day window, even though if you're doing volume, that volume could come up 3, 5, 7 days, but I like 30 days consistency. It's not just about volume, it's about time. Most people want to shortchange time by increasing high volume in a given period, but things change. The thing with Google search is you're looking to help people who have a problem, and throughout a month, throughout a quarter, throughout a year, needs capacity to yield profitable campaigns all change depending on paychecks and seasons, and there's so many variables. So 30 days is a good basis to look at a quality score for a keyword, especially the landing page component, especially if you haven't touched the landing page. Next, devices. This is an evaluated report. In devices here, this is a campaign that we're running. This is, I think, 5 days of data here. I think September to, oh no, it's a longer period. It's a longer period. So in this, this is just for one campaign running, and we see computers, mobile phones, and tablets. We'll see where clicks came from, impressions, CTR, average CPC, cost per conversions, and conversion rate. Notice I don't have any other column in here. This is why. I'm focused on conversion rates, primarily where I'm spending a lot of my money, the volume of conversions, and cost per conversions. And tablets here look like I should be doubling down on tablets. It's half, a little more than half the cost is for per conversion. The conversion rate is higher, but the volume is super low. Mobile phones, they're not quite as strong as they need to be. This is quite the opposite of what most campaigns look like. It's usually mobile phones leading, but the CTR is pretty high. And computers, every one of these devices has a different impact on your quality score, because they interact with your ad and your landing page in a different way. Somebody on a computer is going to interact with your LP in a much different way than somebody on a tablet and a mobile phone. So understanding which device type is going to your platform is important. Most people say, man, I'm super optimized for mobile phones. Fantastic. In this case, clearly computers will have a bigger impact on that quality score than mobile phones. Did you check your desktop configuration? See how that looks, your laptop configuration. Locations matter. Cannot be understated. Here is a AT&T coverage map. AT&T is one of the biggest coverage areas globally. But if we look at this, all these white areas are areas that don't get good signal. And some of this is mountains, some of this is water, and we'll be like, yeah, why do you need signal here? But like Verizon, like T-Mobile, this blue doesn't quite tell you the quality of that reception. So you know the reception game, like, oh, if I go to my buddy's house, I only get 1 bar. You still got coverage, but you only have 1 bar there. You're operating in 2G levels, where if you go to downtown Los Angeles, you got 4 bars, 5 bars, whatever bars you have. But even though you have coverage, the rate of coverage for mobile really changes from device to device, person to person. And then keywords are super nuanced. Remember, the best in Dallas, for instance, best X, best optometrist, best barbecue restaurant, best whatever, best X in Dallas is radically different than best X near me, even though I'm in Dallas. Say I'm in downtown Dallas looking for an optometrist, and I search for best optometrist near me. That's a radically different search than best optometrist in Dallas from what is most likely going to be a computer, because near me is almost always a mobile device. Mobile device near me for that keyword is going to trigger, well, where was I? Did the reception impact it? Did I have slower load times? Is this outside of the norm for that keyword? Because the keyword that we're thinking about is best optometrist, and best optometrist near me is very close, so we're looking at it the same, but it's quite different people looking for different services. Usefulness and relevancy. We may have relevancy, but how useful is our page on that device at that very moment? And then an aggregate. Similar is not the same. 40% more mobile searches may yield that 20% of that 40% market share is on 2G, because the areas that we're servicing our ads don't load the page fast enough. So that's a lot of details, and you can go through device, match types, historical data, and break it down to who's looking at your page, when they're looking at your page, and what locations they're looking at your page. And you may have to break out campaigns in similar SCAG format, but you're doing this to improve your quality score. And you always want to look at your landing page as a component, a dynamic component. The person on a mobile phone who needs an optometrist is different than the person on a laptop. One is pressed for time, one isn't. One has more options, the other has perceivably less options. So I would really like for you to look at the most nuanced components of every keyword to get down. Tell me that isn't crazy. For your landing page experience score, how many variables are factored? All of these signals back and forth. And not just for one of the 3 components. Man, I find that absolutely amazing. I hope this helped. I hope it gave you some places to start your troubleshooting. And if it did, it would mean the world to me if you could like, subscribe, comment on this video. And as always, good luck and happy marketing.